I'd like to thanks to all the fans who buy our CD. Sometimes when we touch. Sometimes when we touch. Thank you.
And in the audience at the press conference was, in fact, the man who helped Manny Pacquiao with his new single, Dan Hill. And Dan explained to us the genesis of how this all happened.
It started because my wife bounded on my studio door screaming like a lunatic, and I was afraid someone was breaking into our house. And she grabs me and takes me upstairs, and Manny's singing on Jimmy Kimmel. And she was so excited she couldn't talk. And though I was very aware of Manny Pacquiao, and for some reason at that moment I was so worried that there was some kind of drama in my house that it took me a while to actually register, A, that it was Manny, and B, that he was singing my song, because the song has been cut by thousands of singers. And then it hit me who he was, and I was honestly struck by his sincerity. You know, the problem with Sometimes When We Touch is a hyper-emotional song, and people tend to oversing it. And when that happens, it becomes like a soap opera. And so what hit me about Manny's singing was there is a believability. In my opinion, singing is all about believability, you know, in honesty. He had a sort of a sincerity that I found to be tremendously moving. And so, to be honest, I and my producers reached out to Manny through Mike Kantz, and we arranged to meet. And it was on June 4th at the St. Regis Hotel. And it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, they wheeled us in the room, and Manny flipped the script as if we were royalty. You know, he was like feeding us copious amounts of food and saying that he was nervous, and he was so modest, it was unbelievable. And we talked a lot about music and how music is such a big part of his life and how he sings to his children every night. And I just said, let's make a record. And he said, when do we start? It was really that simple. And then we got together in the historic Capitol Studios in Hollywood before the Margarita fight. He came in straight from working out for 12 hours, still in his workout stuff. I felt bad for the guy, you know. I felt bad that I was working him. I was scared that I was taking him off his focus, honestly, you know. And the thing that really, we worked together on that song for probably about 8 hours, and he never blinked. He never complained. And he has amazing hearing, and he has that, as you know, that hyper focus ability that champions have, whether you're Celine Dion, whom I've worked with, or whether you're Manny Pacquiao. It was like, even though there were hundreds of people in the studio, it was just like Manny and me like this. I couldn't believe his focus. And so then it hit me that he was cross-channeling his brilliant gift as a boxer into singing. And when I say, Manny, you need to drink more water. Manny, you need to maybe a little less vibrato, maybe cut off the phrases quicker so it doesn't sound like Broadway. Everything I said, he listened intently and sang it back for me. And then he nailed that last note, subsides. And like a little boy, when he hit subsides, he pumped his hand in the air, and he kind of looked around for reassurance. And it was just so vulnerable and sweet. And I said, Manny, you hit that note better than I did.
And working with a great boxer like Manny Pacquiao actually had some intriguing personal meaning for Dan Hill.
You know, I had a very, very close relationship with my father. I wrote a book about my father and myself. And you know, as a black man being raised in America, when he was being raised in America, Joe Louis was his real hero. And when Louis defeated Schmeling, that's the name, right, for the rematch, that was like galvanizing for my father. My father went on to interview Joe Louis in Toronto. The first Cassius Clay-Liston fight I listened to with my dad. You know, back then it was transistor radio time, and my dad was saying that Cassius Clay, respectfully, that was what it was called back then, was going to get killed. And so, you know, when I think of boxing, really, I don't just think of boxing, I think of my relationship with my father. So it is a very, very rich and poignant. I mean, I really miss my father because I know he would get such a kick out of this. Like the Grammy Awards, hit singles, royalty checks. I don't think that really registered with my dad. You know, he was a scholar, you know, he had a PhD. But this kind of stuff he would have loved. So I was called my mom yesterday, she's 83, and I'm saying, God, Mom, I really miss Dad. I wish he could be here. He would be laughing so hard. He'd be so, but it's all good. I mean that in a good human way, you know.